It's Elmhurst, our kind of town. Hello and welcome to R.A. Faginal Hall on the campus of Elmhurst College. I'm Tim Calderwood alongside Gina Veneer. We have women's basketball for you as Elmhurst prepares to welcome the Vikings of North Park University from Chicago. Elmhurst has dropped consecutive games in the CCIW, while North Park has lost 3 in a row. Something has to give today as these two teams take to the floor. And Gina, you had a chance to talk a little bit with Elmhurst College head coach Tethany Warner. What did she have to say about this matchup?
Well, Tim, she absolutely said this is a must-win game for this Elmhurst College Blue Jay basketball team. These girls are ready to play. Both of these teams need a win to stay in the CCIW conference. It's a tough conference, as we both know. Tethany Warner and her Blue Jays are ready.
Elmhurst takes on North Park. Come. Courtside at R.A. Faginal Hall, ready for Elmhurst and North Park. Women's basketball action today. Tim Calderwood, once again joined by Gina Veneer. And Gina, right away, we talked about the struggles that both of these teams have coming into the contest today. Well, looking at Elmhurst, Tethany Warner, the fourth-year bench boss, has changed it up. A new look to her starting lineup today.
Yeah, she is. She's going to try something a little bit different, and hey, that's okay. She's going to see what's going to work out on the floor for this Blue Jay basketball team. She expressed to me before this contest, look, this is a must-win game for this Blue Jay basketball team. Both of these teams, really, it's a must-win because to stay alive in the CCIW conference at a 1-3 record, you've got to get a win tonight.
Realizing the top 4 teams in the CCIW qualify for the conference tournament, which in turn gives you an opportunity to reach the NCAAs. The lights have been turned off here as the starting lineups are being introduced, and I will oblige as well. For North Park, Dana Christensen starts at guard, a 5'8 sophomore out of Porter, Indiana. Her 16th start of the year, averaging 6.6 points per game. Shayna Yalda is a 5'3 sophomore guard out of Des Plaines, Illinois, starting for the 16th time this season as well. Antoinette Coleman, her third start, 5'5 junior guard out of Glenview, Illinois, averaging 6.2 points per ball game. Lindsey Thompson, a 5'9 senior guard out of Marengo, averaging 9.7 points per ball game. She starts for the 16th time as well. And Roxanne Jones will start for the 14th time this season, a senior out of Chicago, Illinois. She is the leading scorer for North Park at 15 points per ball game. For Elmhurst, here is the different look to the starting lineup. Kim Schwartman, a 5'8 sophomore out of Wheaton, starts for the third time. Lauren Rhodes, her fourth start, 5'6 freshman out of Howell, Michigan. Rashida Joyner, averaging 3.1 points per ball game, a senior out of Chicago, starts for the 14th time. CJ Harris with her third start, a 5'9 senior forward out of Calumet City, averaging 3.7 points per game. And Megan Merklin will start for the 15th time this season, averaging 11.1 points per ball game. She is a junior hailing from Plainfield, Illinois, who last season was a third-team All-CCIW choice. So notably absent from the starting lineup today, Megan Ney, who was a second-team All-Conference performer last year. She will be coming off of the bench to try to provide some punch for the Blue Jays today, who look to receive some more offense. Gina, one of the biggest things that this team has struggled with of late has been the start. They need to get off to a very good start today.
Well, it's interesting, Tim, what Coach Warner is doing here with the lineup, but I think that she's hoping for a little bit of spark to come from the girls that are sitting on the bench that typically start these basketball games, and hopefully that fire is started underneath these girls and they can come off the bench with some success. We saw that in the past with Coach Warner's lineup, with success coming from girls coming off the bench. So we'll see what it does tonight.
CJ Harris in the center circle, flanked by Lindsey Thompson. It will be North Park basketball to open the contest. North Park is in the standard blue uniforms. They are the traveling team. Moving from left to right here in the first half, the visitors out of Chicago. Looking to work it into the post towards Roxanne Jones, who has defended nicely. The shot clock is down to 10. Jumping the lane is Schwartman with the steal. Schwartman coast to coast with a layup. And a good start for the Blue Jays. Kim Schwartman with the steal and basket. And Elmhurst will start out in the full court press as well against North Park. Shayna Yalda with the ball on the floor. And knocked away and collected by Coleman, dribbling towards the right corner.
Well, the press is something that actually Coach Warner said that she was planning on putting against this Viking basketball team to come out strong, come out aggressively, and we've already seen that here as the first minute of this game is ticking away.
Christensen to beat the shot clock. Banks at home to tie the score. Dana Christensen out of Porter, Indiana, evening things at 2 aside. The officiating crew for the contest today, Doran Stewart, Dave Furking, and Craig Morse, as assigned by the CCIW. Elmhurst is 6-9. They are 1-3 in the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin, while North Park is 7-8. They are also 1-3. We'll run down the CCIW standings for you in a moment. Amanda Reese is the North Park head coach. Let's take a look at Kim Schwartman coming into your screen. Shot clock down to 10 for the Blue Jays. Schwartman will work it into the corner for Rhodes, who throws it away. Schwartman will try to save it, but it will not be enough. They'll say it was tipped. Joyner at half court to beat the shot clock, nowhere near the bucket. Joyner gave up on the play, likewise for Schwartman, thinking it was going to be an over and back call. However, the official said it was nicked.
Well, Joyner just a little confused on that last possession. But this press for Elmhurst, so far so good, Tim. We're seeing an aggressive side on this Blue Jay basketball team.
Rhodes up the right edge of the lane, bouncing for Harris in front of the North Park bench, who travels. Elmhurst this season forcing opponents to turn the ball over 22 times a game. And that's only going to increase if they continue with this type of pressure defense today against a rather inexperienced North Park team. The ball is on the floor. A jump ball is called, and it will be a turnover, giving it to Elmhurst.
Well, the exact expectations that Coach Warner had with this full court press is seeming to be somewhat of a success so far. She was hoping to get points off of turnovers, create some turnovers, put a little bit of pressure, obviously, on this Viking team, and it seems to be working so far.
Joyner in the left corner looking to lob to Merklin. On the right edge, Schwartman with 10 to shoot, out towards Joyner. Back into the corner, Merklin from 18. Bingo! Megan Merklin has been very quiet for Elmhurst of late, but she gets started here today. Merklin with just 8 points and 6 rebounds in the loss at Illinois Wesleyan on Saturday. North Park with a quick miss. Gives way to the Blue Jays, trudging ahead. Joyner will rotate to the corner for Merklin. She'll try again. Bingo! Message received for Megan Merklin. 5 consecutive points and a 7-2 lead for Elmhurst.
Nice shot there by Merklin, the junior here for the Blue Jays, somebody that you can guarantee is going to work hard on the floor.
Shayna Yalda from dead on answers with a triple of her own, 7-5. Illinois Wesleyan and Wheaton currently tied atop the CCIW, both 4-0. Milliken is 3-1. Carthage 2-2. North Park and Elmhurst, along with North Central, sitting at 1-3, and Augustana winless with an 0-4 mark thus far in CCIW play. And again, the top 4 teams will qualify for the postseason. Merklin tries again from the right corner, and her 19-footer rims out. Harris cannot keep it alive. Take a look at Megan Merklin. Five points for Merklin thus far, a 7-5 lead for Elmhurst with 16:27 remaining in the opening 20. Christensen attempts to drive and is forced to back up. Here's Yalda, the CCIW's leader in assists. Bouncing into the post for Roxanne Jones, who knots the score. First touch, though, for Jones today. And, Gina, you mentioned that she was going to be a key defensively for the Blue Jays. Here's Kim Schwartman to the bucket, bothered by Antoinette Coleman.
Yes, Tim, the 5'10 junior out of Chicago. Jones, for the Vikings, is somebody that Coach Warner mentioned she wanted to keep a close eye on, a close watch on number 40 here. She's averaging 15.1 points per game. On top of that, 6.6 rebounds per game. So definitely a threat.
Kim Schwartman is at the line. Sophomore out of Wheaton. Played at Glenbard South High School. 70% free throw shooter this year. Career high 19 points. An Elmhurst lone CCIW win against Augustana. Twice has led the team in scoring, but could not convert on either free throw attempt here. And the score remains dead even at 7 aside as Yalda dribbles towards the corner. Christensen with a behind the back move. Yalda again, isolated on the right side. And a stutter step from Jones, who turns around in disbelief following a travel. Rashida Joyner will call out the play as she walks it up the floor. No substitutions thus far from either side. For North Park, they are 7-8, and that represents a huge step forward for the Vikings as C.J. Harris will trigger a three for the lead that's off the mark. Last season, they won only 5 games and won only 4 the year before that. The 7 victories, their most since the 2006-2007 campaign when they finished 16-9. Jones high into the left from 15 short. Tried to follow the shot, but Megan Merklin got there first. Here's Rhodes bouncing to Harris. Up to Merklin. Schwartman calling for the basketball. Joyner with the feed. Schwartman missed, but follows it up. And another possession for the Blue Jays.
Well, Tim, after that second shot clock and a fresh reset for the Blue Jays, we're seeing great ball movement out of this basketball team.
But you have to finish, which C.J. Harris was finally able to do on the 3rd attempt. As a reach will be called. Shooting has been a problem for the Blue Jays at times this year. As we take a look at the last bucket. Harris with the miss and following it up.
Maisto, Monroe, and Ney.
Emily Verniesel has entered for North Park as the Vikings with a few substitutions quickly throwing it away. Devin Vaughn in the left corner. Into the lane, lobbing for Monroe, low right up and in.
Points off the turnovers, something Coach Warner really wanted to see out of this team. And she saw it right there. Unfortunately, the press there being a little bit over-aggressive. Jordan Maisto.
Her first, second team foul.
Take a look at the bucket from Kelsey Monroe. So we have a timeout on the floor taken by North Park. With 14:13 to go in the first half, Elmhurst 11, North Park 7. Women's basketball action today as the Blue Jays opening up a week of home games. They will have Wheaton at home as their next contest as well. North Park is a team who opened up CCIW play with a win over Augustana, then suffered 3 consecutive losses, including an overtime defeat to North Central in which they squandered a late 7-point advantage. It looked like for a time they could be a team who could sneak up into that top half of the conference this year, which is why this game is so important with both North Park and Elmhurst entering with 1-3 records. Amanda Reese, I'm sure, thinking about a way to beat the press, which is something we haven't seen a lot of from Elmhurst this season, Gina.
Yeah, you're right, we haven't. It's something that is working very well so far, Tim, for the Blue Jays, and this is something that Coach Warner definitely wanted to see. Let's get a hustle on right away against this team. Let's get a heavy lead right away and get ahead, you know, and have some comfort going into the second half and hopefully up by a decent margin to get some comfort for sure.
Verniesel, Heimseth, Yalda, Coleman, and Jones for North Park. Elmhurst countering with Monroe, Maisto, Vaughn, Ney, and Harris. Verniesel starts to move and works it onto the right edge. Coleman with 10 to shoot. Looking to lob into the corner. Jones calling for it over the top of Monroe, who was backpedaling, and it's in. Got to hold your ground defensively. Here's Vaughn pulling up the other way, short. And the rebound is knocked out of bounds by Megan Ney.
That foul charge to Megan Ney. Her first.
Let's take a look at North Park's last basket.
On the Blue Jays.
Entry pass into Jones, and there is Monroe backing up a bit. Blue Jays continue to press, however. Yelda having some problems here early on. North Park, though, able to beat it. Pulling up at the right elbow and hitting is Vernisil.
By Vernisil.
Megan Ney will try from the elbow as well. It's short off the front iron. And a rebound for Roxanne Jones. Tied at 11, North Park with 4 straight. Vernisil on the baseline for Yalda, well short. Yalda diving to the floor. And it is scooped up by Ney, ahead to Monroe. Wing left from 8 feet outside the lane, no. Heimsath comes away.
Well, we've seen a strong push on the past 2 offensive sets for Elmhurst. Although seemingly they need to slow things down and maybe reset, get themselves to the top of the key, call a play, slow things down a little bit and see if that'll work a little bit better than the last 2 sets.
Well, you could say the same thing for North Park. They continue to take quick shots as Heimsath pokes away the entry pass for Ney. Megan Merklin returns for North Park. Teresa Tinsky is on. Lindsey Thompson re-enters as well for the visitors. With the score knotted up at 11 aside here in the first half. Ney lobbing for Merklin too high. One thing you have to do if you're Elmhurst is cut down on those unforced turnovers in a game like this, which is to say mistakes of your own doing rather than forced by the opposition. Speaking of, North Park with the same exact mistake, throwing it away as they tried to enter it into the lane.
Well, in favor there of the Blue Jays, and now this set hoping to get ahead here as the first half. We're almost 8 minutes into this one. Maestro is going to set things up, hopefully slow it down, call it a play, and see if something can get rolling here on offense.
Two juniors, a senior, and a pair of freshmen for the Blue Jays. It is the senior Monroe who receives the call, and her layup fails to drop on the weak side. Tinsky comes away. Around a screen from Heimsath. High and to the left, to the edge for Coleman on the move. Denied, lobbing for Thompson too strong. Maisto gobbles it up, leads the break ahead to Monroe, who slows it down. Here's Devin Vaughn. She'll pull up. 3-pointer off to the right. Monroe the rebound. And a foul.
Great rebound there by Monroe, coming around, getting that right-handed layup in there, finding herself
Foul
on the line. As you can see here.
Personal foul, second team
Miss from
foul
Vaughn, and there's Monroe on the way up with a lot of
Kelsey
contact.
Monroe at the free throw line.
Monroe out of West Chicago, Illinois, hitting the first free throw. It's the first make at the line for Elmhurst today. Kelsey Monroe, a 68% shooter on the season, 15 of 22, and perfect here. 13-11 as Elmhurst snaps a scoreless drought with a couple of free throws to retake the lead. A 2-on-1 for North Park, but Thompson didn't realize it, slowed it up instead, and it's thrown away. North Park with a lot of unforced turnovers here early.
Well, and Monroe simply in the right place at the right time, and now the ball is in their possession, hoping to get something rolling again here on this set.
Nearing the midway point of the first half. Merklin right edge, utilizing a screen from Maisto to the bucket. No. Vaughn, an offensive rebound, lost it. Collecting to Merklin from 18. Friendly roll. Came out and dropped back in for Megan Merklin, who now owns 7 points in the ball game.
Friendly roll is right, Tim. That's one of your favorite things to say on those friendly rolls. And a good one there by Merklin, but a great second effort that we're seeing here on offense by the Blue Jays.
And a traveling One of the things that's perhaps a little overlooked is the fact that Elmhurst is the top offensive rebounding team in the CCIW, and you're going to see the friendly roll from Megan Merklin there. And the offensive rebounds have been giving the Blue Jays plenty of opportunities here in the first half today.
Absolutely. That's something that they need to stress again throughout this game, especially down the stretch of this basketball game too. Rebounds are huge. As you can see, they can bring great success.
Maisto with a swish. Did not score in a start at Illinois Wesleyan last time out. Converting on a bucket here, and it's a 6-point Elmhurst lead. As the Blue Jays look to start to pull away. They force a quick miss from North Park. Maisto surveying the scene, rotating over to Merklin. She'll try the three. Bingo! 20-11. The Blue Jays have gone on a 9-0 run to open a 9-point lead here in the first half with 9:32 to play, and North Park nearly throws it away. Falling to the floor is Yalda. And the Vikings able to recover.
Well, we certainly know Megan Merklin showed up ready to play this contest tonight. She's already got herself in the double digits for points.
Megan Ney, who did not start, knocks down Thompson. Let's take a look at another bucket from Megan Merklin.
Great rotation here with the ball, Tim, as we're seeing. And Merklin wide open. She's thinking, why not? I've been hot. I'm going to continue launching the ball up in the air and seeing what it can do for this team.
To be honest with you, I think that kind of confidence has been lacking for Elmhurst to start the CCIW. So perhaps it's a game like this that can wake them up a little bit and give some of those players some more confidence. Jones, free throw line extended. Off the back iron. Joyner a 4-on-2. Finding Rhodes to the right edge in transition.
Wow, another great push there by the Blue Jays and snapping right back into it here on defense.
It's an 11-0 run for Elmhurst, and North Park is not helping themselves out by constantly taking quick shots. That will not force the Blue Jays out of the press. North Park trying to attack it and go right to the basket consistently. They haven't been falling early on. Merklin with good rotation in the lane. A little short, but fights for the rebound. Schwartman lost it.
Well, Schwartman probably didn't need to take that last dribble in her benefit. Her best bet was to just take that one up, use the Merklin shot, miss, and put one up herself.
Roxanne Jones stops an 11-0 Elmhurst run with a bucket. Jones, the third leading scorer in the CCIW at over 15 points per ball game. Brings North Park within 22-13. 7:55 to play in the half. Harris on the move is fouled. Let's take a look at the run-stopping basket. There is Jones in the lane. I think North Park's going to have to do a lot of that here in the ball game. Schwartman having a little difficulty inbounding the basketball to Rhodes, who loses it out of bounds. It will stay with Elmhurst. Get a look at Tethny Werner, fourth season as the bench boss of the Blue Jays. Harris in the lane, up and under, no. Rebound is loose, and Schwartman with another offensive rebound for Elmhurst. Here's Harris for three on the left edge. You bet. And a timeout for Elmhurst. A full timeout with 7:36 to play in the first half. 25-13 Elmhurst with the lead, and Gina, safe to say, off to one of their better starts of the season.
Absolutely. On that last set, CJ Harris, she's looking to get some action on offense herself. Good ball movement here, what you thought was going to be a reset, and CJ Harris pulls one up from the three-point line. Great shot, giving Elmhurst a pretty good lead right here in the first half, Tim.
There's another look at it. I think that's one of the biggest things you're seeing from Elmhurst here in the half is maybe one extra pass to lead to a better look, something that they haven't done a lot of earlier this season also.
Well, we're seeing a good amount of aggressive play coming out of the Blue Jays tonight, And it's great to see. It's very refreshing to see these girls really fighting for this win. And I know Coach Warner was preaching to them before the game, look, girls, this is a must-win basketball game for us to stay in this tough CCIW conference. And in order to compete here in this tournament as well this year, tough teams in the conference, and it's tough. Tonight, a big challenge and a huge battle for both of these teams, and it'll be exciting to see who comes out on top. Blue Jays being successful so far in the first half.
One of the reasons for the sense of urgency in today's ball game is that the schedule for Elmhurst features a lot more front-end home games in the CCIW. In the month of January, the Blue Jays are playing 5 of their 7 home games in the CCIW, and in the month of February, they will be on the road for 4 of 6 CCIW contests. Important to protect your home floor, where Elmhurst this season is 2-3. They haven't played at home very much this year, but they currently lead by 12. Krista Volden has entered and drives towards the basket. It is foul. Volden off the bench for North Park, trying to provide a little extra depth here in the first half as Amanda Reese looks for some scoring help. Foul was whistled against Stephanie Mitchell, her first. It is the 5th foul against the Blue Jays. Jones again. Nice spin right around C.J. Harris.
Well, a few things that Coach Warner mentioned before the game as I spoke with her was just basically the mistakes that we saw just there. Let's limit our fouls, steer clear of them, and also watch the mismatch against Roxanne Jones. They need to put extra coverage on her as a player, knowing that she can dominate if given the opportunity.
And a change for North Park defensively. They switch to the 2-3 zone. Elmhurst struggling against it. Schwartman well short on the 12-footer. And it's one and done. The zone basically daring you to hit the outside shots. Here's Volden ahead in transition. Couldn't finish, and it is out of bounds to Elmhurst. Once again, we will get a look at Roxanne Jones. Gina, she netted 34 points in the season opening loss to Roosevelt, the second highest single game total in the conference this year.
Well, as I mentioned, you don't want to give that girl the opportunity to start a fire on her, under herself and, of course, her basketball team, because she can definitely bring a lot to the table, especially against this Blue Jay team.
Well, we've talked a lot about Megan Merklin here in the first half, and rightfully so. Merklin already in double figures with 10 points. But C.J. Harris headed to the free throw line with 5 for the Blue Jays, picking up where she left off at Illinois Wesleyan, scoring 8 points off of the bench in Elmhurst's loss to the 7th-ranked team in the nation. Elmhurst did not have a single player in double figures in that loss to Illinois Wesleyan, 81-59.
Well, Saturday was most definitely tough for Elmhurst, losing to Wesleyan, shooting only 30.5% in Saturday's contest, hoping to have a better shooting percentage coming out of this game tonight.
The 9th turnover of the half for North Park. 27-15, Elmhurst with the lead, looking to add to it. Harris lobbing for Mitchell. Knocked away, Harris able to control. Rhodes onto the left wing for Joyner. Mitchell is posting and calling for the basketball against the zone. Rhodes will try to drive, and she is bumped, the 5th foul against North Park.
Stephanie Mitchell doing a pretty good job down low on the post. She's hungry, Tim. She's looking for that ball to be fed to her. Working hard down there, down low.
Schwartman tied up. Rotating again for the Blue Jays to Harris. High for Joyner, 3-pointer, back iron. Long rebound, Volda tracks it down. Yalda angles right. Calling for Volda to poke out. Looking to lob in the lane for Jones. Immediately double teamed, and take your pick on the foul. Mitchell and Joyner both got there, trying to deny the feed towards Jones. Joyner will pick up her second. And wholesale substitutions for Elmhurst. Tiffany Werner has done this a couple of times today. Kind of going with the hockey approach a bit. Megan Fitz enters for the first time. Returning, Vaughn, Monroe, Merklin, and Maisto.
Coach Warner hoping to find a rhythm with this lineup out on the floor right now. Switch things up a bit, see if this will work for a while. We'll see what it does.
Christensen hits the mid-range jumper. 5 minutes and change to play in the first half. 27-17, Elmhurst by 10. Blue Jays looking to add to it here. North Park with a switch to the zone. Merklin, catch and shoot from 12, rims to the right. And teammates fighting for the rebound. Jones and Volden fail to communicate and say, hey, we're on the same side here.
Well, it was a good look there. Good ball movement on that possession for the Blue Jays. Even better, they've got another opportunity here.
Maisto left alone at the arc. No, but an offensive rebound for Fitz, who turns around and drops it in.
Very nice. Taking advantage of the bounce off the miss from Maisto. Fitz wants a little action herself.
4:25 in the first half. Volden on the move. Followed her own miss. So we take a look at the Blue Jays again here. Maisto from the top of the arc. Guess what? It's a second chance basket.
Absolutely. Fitz taking advantage there. Right, good position, right underneath the basket, finding herself an easy 2 points.
Bonus time for North Park. Roxanne Jones fails to have a second opportunity as the free throw rims out to the left. 7th foul against Elmhurst. North Park shooting for the remainder of the 4 minutes and a half. Meanwhile, only 5 fouls thus far against the visitors. Emily Vernaciel returns. Monroe to trigger it in with 15 to shoot. Monroe struts left, comes back right, high for Vaughn. Rotating for Maisto. Into an opening, Fitz off the side of the backboard. 1 to shoot, Monroe to beat the shot clock and air ball.
Elmhurst doing a decent job though, Tim, against this 2-3 zone being implemented here by the Vikings. They're getting good shots, they're getting good looks at the basket.
And they're doing that, creating turnovers.
Absolutely, something that they're doing well is creating turnovers, getting offensive rebounds, important rebounds as we've seen here in the first half so far.
The 11th turnover for North Park here in the first half. One of the other things Elmhurst has done very well is rebound here to start. An 18-11 edge on the glass, which has led to several second chance opportunities. Merklin feeling it. A little short, but an offensive rebound, and there's another second chance opportunity for the Blue Jays, and Devin Vaughn will find herself at the line. Vaughn had netted a career-best 13 points at California Lutheran on November 26th. Hailing from West Aurora High School, where she was an honorable mention All-State choice as a senior. First free throw is in. Placed 12th in the IHSA three-point shootout as a junior, ranked 6th in West Aurora history with over 1,000 points in her career. Elmhurst was very excited to land Devin Vaughn, an 82% free throw shooter on the season, and perfect on a pair. It's a 31-17 lead.
Well, Vaughn's done a great job coming into basketball games and posing as a threat for the Blue Jays. Warner using her even as a freshman to put out on the floor and start a spark potentially for this team.
Down at 3:25 and a half. Alda tries to drive, falls to the floor as she dribbles. Christensen with the shot clock under 10. Pushed from behind and a bailout foul for North Park. Eighth team foul. We'll see Dana Christensen shooting free throws for North Park. 4 double-figure games this season for Christensen, the sophomore who ranks 9th in the CCIW in three-point shooting percentage. converting on the free throw. It's the first make at the line for North Park today. They are 1 of 2.
For Elmhurst.
One more for Christensen. Interesting. She starts with her left foot back. Then kind of brings it in a little bit as it rattles around and falls into the arms of C.J. Harris.
Well, a goofy stance for sure. You observed that one, Tim.
Into the corner for Fitz. Here's Vaughn. Over to Harris. Dribbling in between a gap. Trying from 16 and an offensive rebound for Fitz.
Good save there by Fitz. Good aggressive play.
The shot clock did not reset because there was no rim. It's down to 3. Fitz to hurry. Off to the left. Rebound for Devin Vaughn, who failed to bring it in. Dana Christensen instead with a rebound for North Park. And a big possession here for the Vikings. They're trying to find a way to work this deficit under double digits heading into the locker room. And one way to do it is to find Roxanne Jones, who will be stepping to the free throw line here following the 9th foul of the half against Elmhurst.
Well, we're going to take a look at another shot here for North Park. Jones, just a solid player, hard to control, really. Finding herself at the line after a good move to the basket. She may be a girl that they need to double team down low every time. Hands straight up to try to avoid the foul and not put her on the foul line.
Jones, the first North Park player in double digits, 10 points. Vaughn from just inside the arc on the left edge, over the top of the backboard into North Park. I think Jones is going to see a lot of double teams around the CCIW this year. It's not necessarily a bad thing for her if she can take it to the basket. If you're going to be surrounded consistently, she's going to end up at the free throw line on a lot of occasions as well.
Absolutely, and it's tough to not foul. You've got even a double chance to get somebody to reach in on you. And if that doesn't work for Jones, she can always kick it out because having 2 people on her is going to leave somebody open.
Vernaseal's three-pointer, no, but a foul on the rebound. And it is against Shayna Yalda on the clear out. 1:53 to play in the first half. And free throws upcoming for Jordan Maisto. Tethy Warner utilizing just about everybody on her roster at this point as Nikki Schaefer enters. And the first free throw for Maisto falls in, so another upcoming. Elmhurst a solid 7 of 9 at the free throw line here in the first half. Maisto, another freshman out of Burlington Central. Second attempt is short off the front iron. Kind of been involved defensively early on in her career, averaging under 2 points a ball game. Season high total is 4 for Maisto. She's certainly near that today with 3. Pulling up is Christensen, counted in a foul. Not what you want to have happen with 1:34 to go in the first.
Well, you're right there, Tim, and now even more opportunity after we'll see this drive and the foul. More opportunity for points here, and now the opportunity for North Park to get within double digits. Down by 10 now. Trying to make this an interesting ball game.
Free throw is good. 32-23, Elmhurst by 9. Schwartman re-enters for the Blue Jays. They've been a little complacent against the zone. Merkland's shot is swatted away. But another opportunity. Schwartman makes good in the lane from 13.
Well, that's a great way to step into the ball game. Nice little jump shot there by Schwartman after a good rebound.
Jones lobbing for Heimsath. Back to Jones in the lane, on the move, no. Following her shot, blocked by Harris. 3-on-2 for Elmhurst. Vaughn looking for Schaefer, over to Harris. Open wing left for three. No siree, rebound is loose, and Schwartman watches it knock out of bounds.
Well, we saw there on the last for defense, as we'll check in with Schwartman here. Nice shot there for Kim, the sophomore for Elmhurst. But before that on defense, Tim, what I noticed is if you're able to just play solid fundamental defense against Jones, she is able to control for sure, and you're going to get another opportunity on offense.
North Park with a timeout. 46 seconds to play in the first. Elmhurst leading 34-23. Stephanie Werner chatting with the Blue Jays here. I'm sure one of the themes that she is discussing currently, stay strong. With under a minute to go in the half, you've worked for a double-digit lead. You do not want to do anything going into the locker room that will give North Park confidence after the break.
They've already committed a good deal of fouls, finding North Park on the line, so any more fouls here wouldn't be a good idea. We have by no means want North Park to go into the half with a sense of confidence.
The Blue Jays continue to press, and they force a turnover. Wide open is Monroe, who lost it, wasn't ready. Well, if there's ever such a thing as being too wide open, that may have been the case for Kelsey Monroe.
Well, it's been pretty fast-paced and simply just a mishandling there for Monroe.
North Park with no choice but to throw it out of bounds off the Blue Jays. 11-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And a carry is called. So now the shot clock is off, and Elmhurst will likely hold for the final shot of the half. Nikki Schaefer checks in for the Blue Jays. Harris to inbound. It is Harris, Schwartman, Vaughn, Merkland, and Schaefer.
Well, an important possession here, Tim, definitely going into the half. Blue Jays looking to score and give themselves an even higher lead.
Maybe they weren't thinking about holding for the final shot. Vaughn saw an opening. Knifed through the center of the North Park defense. Let's get the look that she saw.
Second personal foul charged to Roxanne Jones.
Roxanne Jones wasn't even facing
at the
Vaughn.
free throw line for the
Kind of
Blue
hip
Jays.
checked her a bit.
Vaughn,
Well, Vaughn saw a hole and wanted to take it, finding herself at the free throw line, putting on the first free throw shot.
Monroe back for the Blue Jays.
Devin Vaughn, 10 minutes off the bench at Illinois Wesleyan, 5 points. Having a very solid first half for the Blue Jays. Free throw is short, and the rebound controlled for North Park. A 3 would pull North Park within 9. A 2 would bring them within 10. I would say either is acceptable as they work it into the lane for a wide open Thompson, who drops it in just before the half. And Elmhurst leads by 10 as we break, 35-25. Let's take a look at the play for the Vikings. Nice little bounce pass into the wide open Thompson underneath the bucket. And there are the red lights in the background as we have reached the half, with Elmhurst leading by 10. A lot of positives for the Blue Jays here in the opening 20 minutes, Gina.
Absolutely. We saw the full court press, really a good success for the Blue Jays coming right off the start of this game. They came out aggressive. They came out looking like they wanted to take this game here at home, and it's a big one for them. They need to continue that press. I think it would really be a good idea to continue the press for the Blue Jays, and it will be interesting to see how the second half plays out.
Some of the crowd that is gathered here at R.A. Faginal Hall today enjoying what is a 10-point Elmhurst lead. 35-25, our count at the break. We'll have the second half coming your way shortly. This is Elmhurst, our kind of town. Back on Elmhurst, our kind of town. Women's basketball action. Elmhurst out rebounding North Park 23-16 in the first half, including 11 offensive rebounds, which led to a commanding 15-0 edge in second chance points. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. Elmhurst got started early. Kim Schwartman right away with the steal, heading coast to coast for the basket.
Nice layup there by Schwartman, and now Merklin getting some action. She's scoring 2 from long. Nice jump shot, 2 of her 10 points in the first half.
North Park led in scoring in the opening 20 by Roxanne Jones, involved in the post here.
Here's a nice second effort layup we're going to see from C.J. Harris, number 25 of the Blue Jays. She had 7 points in the first half. A nice second effort there by Harris.
North Park showing they can beat the press as well at times. Emily Vernaseal in transition.
Number 12 for the Blue Jays, Jordan Maisto. You step back. Yep, I'll take this one. She snags a few there.
How about Roxanne Jones again? 10 points, as we said, to lead North Park in the first half. 4 field goals.
Another freshman here, number 21, Fitz. Good position there. Boom, big rebound for the Blue Jays and 2 points.
Guess what? A second chance basket. And here's Kim Schwartman proving she can do it from bonus distance as well. A long range shot for Kim Schwartman. And Elmhurst leads 35-25 at the half. Elmhurst shot 33% in the opening 20 minutes. North Park 45%. But the Blue Jays shooting was compounded as they started out very hot and had a huge lead at 14 points early in the first half. But North Park hung around, came charging back into the contest. And as you look at Amanda Reese, the North Park head coach, we'll see what kind of adjustments she was able to work with in the locker room. It'll be North Park basketball as we resume play in the second half. I'm Tim Calderwood alongside Gina Vanier. Some other first half numbers for you. 14 North Park turnovers, 7 steals for Elmhurst, which led to 15 points off of turnovers. And North Park right away into the lane for Jones. Roxanne Jones once again for the Vikings. Look for a healthy dose of her here in the second half. 35-27 as North Park is under double digits. It is the starting 5 on the floor for Elmhurst. Rashida Joyner, Megan Merklin, C.J. Harris, Lauren Rhodes, and Kim Schwartman. Shot clock down to 10. Schwartman high left, down the center of the lane. Lost the basketball, recovers in the corner with 3 to shoot. Rhodes has to hurry, tries to draw some contact as she leans in. And the 18-footer is well long. Shayna Yalda chases down the loose ball. A shot clock violation as well. For North Park, it is their starting 5. Dana Christensen, Shayna Yalda, Antoinette Coleman, Lindsey Thompson, and Roxanne Jones. And this is a big possession for the Vikings here early in the second half.
Well, no doubt about it. We've seen right off the bat here at the second half, both of these teams coming out of the locker room ready to play.
Yalda with a quick attempt is knocked to the floor. It was on the closeout, so there will not be free throws for Yalda. But you cannot give North Park second opportunities because, as you saw in the first half, second chances were huge for Elmhurst. 11 offensive rebounds, 15 second chance points. North Park has yet to convert on a second chance basket.
Well, Elmhurst did a great job doing just that in the first half, hoping that carries over here and that North Park doesn't continue to do what we've seen right off the bat here in the second half, Tim.
A 4-0 run as Lindsey Thompson converts on a baseline jumper from 15. 35-29. Schwartman around a screen from Harris, nearly throws it away. Jones went for the steal, and it's going to enable Harris to find herself wide open underneath.
Well, good drive there by Harris to kind of stop the North Park as best as they can, but boy, oh boy, Jones, unstoppable, as we've seen so far.
And a 30-second timeout for Tethny Werner, who is very unhappy early in the second half. Roxanne Jones just blew right past the Blue Jays, wide open underneath the basket.
Absolutely, and now the Vikings within 6, which is huge. A great way to start the second half for this Vikings basketball team. However, the Blue Jays need to really step up the defense, get back on a great offensive set there by C.J. Harris. But what's important, Tim, is to get back on defense and not allow the North Park Vikings to get ahead.
Both teams currently suffering through losing streaks. Let's take a look at the last two baskets. Here is North Park. And a wide open jump shot there, and quickly Elmhurst with their only bucket thus far, taking to the hole as well.
C.J. Harris, a good drive there, as we saw in the replay, and now Jones taking the ball up the court, hoping that this is a more successful offensive set for the Blue Jays.
North Park continues in the zone. They've kind of stretched out the zone a little bit as Schwartman initiates contact, driving to the baseline. Foul is whistled against Lindsey Thompson. And it's always trouble when you end up backing up towards the basket. Here's the free throw from Schwartman.
Schwartman saw an open hole and an opportunity to drive to the basket, find herself on the free throw line.
Twice as many free throws in the first half for Elmhurst compared to North Park. Elmhurst was 8 of 12, North Park 4 of 6. The free throws for Schwartman drop in, 6 points for her. And back to an 8-point advantage as Joyner records the steal. And now Joyner will go to the hole herself. Rashida Joyner with a bucket for the Blue Jays. And it's a 10-point lead. Message received after the timeout.
Big steal there, great turnover, and another one here, tipped into the hands of Jones.
Rashida Joyner again to the basket once more. Consecutive steals and baskets for Joyner. And what was a 6-point deficit has been stretched out to a 12-point advantage, and another steal for Elmhurst. Can Joyner go 3 for 3 from the free throw line, rimming out? Fighting for the rebound is Thompson, who's able to rip it away from Rhodes. Rashida Joyner obviously taking over for the Blue Jays here early in the second half.
Well, Joyner and Jones, boy, I keep getting these two girls quite confused as we're seeing domination on both ends. Jones there for the Vikings, Joyner for the Blue Jays. She may be the spark that the Blue Jays need this second half to really get ahead and get a good lead advantage here on the Vikings.
Apparently it's a good thing if your last name starts with J, which mine doesn't, and neither does yours. Timeout for Elmhurst. And again, Tethany Werner immediately changing up the lineup. Asking everybody to take a seat as the Blue Jays will spend a full timeout here. Let's look at one of those Jays, Rashida Joyner. Talk us through it, Tina.
Well, Joyner there having a solid steal, great drive to the basket, right-handed layup, puts it in, and look, she's at it again, Tim. Here she goes, driving to the basket, keeps her dribble, throws it up for another two. Joyner on fire.
Got a good recognition, forced her defender to the left there as it looked as though she would go right. Instead, took it to the basket. It's a 43-33 advantage for Elmhurst with 16:44 to go in this CCIW matchup on the campus of Elmhurst College tonight. R.A. Faginal Hall is the site. And the Blue Jays looking for their second CCIW win. It would break a tie with North Park and North Central for what is currently the 5th slot in the CCIW standings. Top 4 have kind of solidified themselves at this point. But of course, there's a lot of basketball to go. And a little miscommunication, perhaps. Doran Stewart, one of the referees, thought Tethany Werner was talking to him when she was actually talking to her players on the bench. It is a fresh 5 for the Blue Jays. Jordan Maisto with the basketball, angling left, bouncing for Devin Vaughn, who looks to lob for Megan Ney. Ney out to Maisto at the elbow in the center of the lane, tosses it up from 6, and it drops through.
Great shot there by Maisto. Elmhurst definitely pleased with that 10-point lead, even more satisfied now that they're up by 12. And we've seen that the Vikings can come back. They got themselves within 6 here in the second half, and that's something that you want to try to not allow to happen. Continue to get that drive from underneath the Vikings.
Megan Ney fails to control the rebound as Jones ties her up. Alternate possession belongs to the Blue Jays. Megan Ney, limited to just 5 minutes in the first half, did not start. Grabbed only 2 rebounds and did not score either. And this, the Elmhurst leading scorer. Ney, the junior out of Carroll Stream, averaging a touch under 12 points per ball game. Popping out and calling for the basketball. Monroe cutting to the lane, surrounded. Clearing out to Maisto. 10 to work with. Monroe into the corner for Maisto with 5 to shoot. Using a screen from Ney. High to Vaughn. Three-pointer off the front iron. Vernacil controls the rebound. Yalda's had a quiet first half. The CCIW's leader in assists with only 2 in the opening 20 minutes. Wing left for Christensen. Pushing to the right with 10 to shoot. Here is Yalda using a screen from Jones. Draws the defense in and feeds the wide open Jones. Well, that's what you've got to do defensively. Come over with the help defense when the player's on the move. But unfortunately, it's going to leave somebody wide open, and Yalda knows Jones all too well.
Good defense there by the Blue Jays. Not too much they could do defensively there, and we just saw Jones take it hard to the basket, what she does best.
10 to shoot. Devin Vaughn to the elbow. Shovels for Ney. It's on the floor and gobbled up by Christensen. This is the 67th meeting in women's basketball between Elmhurst and North Park. North Park leads the all-time series 38-28, but Elmhurst has won 9 of 12 since 2005, including 6 straight. They have swept North Park in 3 consecutive seasons. Free throw line extended for Jones. Fakes left, drives right, contact.
Elmhurst definitely hoping that this can be the 7th straight victory for them against this North Park team. And of course, giving them their 4th CCIW loss.
It's been the Roxanne Jones show in the second half for North Park. Off of the finish, that was that help defense we were talking about on the Yalda drive. There's the free throw for Jones as well, who now has 17 points. 10 in the first half and 7 in just over 5 minutes time here in the second half. Jones 5 times this season has scored more than 20 points in a contest and looks as though she is going to find herself in that total again here with 18 following the free throws. 45-37, North Park again has that lead under 10. Ney between the rings. Starts to move, pulls up, shy of the lane. 10-footer, rims to the left, strong side for Jones. Jones was very quiet on the glass, averaging 6.6 rebounds per game. We've talked about her scoring prowess. Well, she also ranks 4th in the CCIW in rebounding, but has been very quiet in that regard in the game so far. Just her 4th rebound of the game. Under 10, on the move is Vernacil, short. Here comes Vaughn sprinting ahead. Vaughn continues to lead it into the corner for Maisto. And the Blue Jays will set it up.
Good opportunity here to slow things down a little bit, get something set up, or force a foul.
I'm Seth with a push. Her second. It's the second on North Park as well. Maisto high right. Looking for Mitchell outside the lane. The 6-footer long. I'm Seth with the rebound. Taking to the hole is Yalda all the way. Counted in a foul. Well, North Park once had pulled to within 6. They've done it again and have its opportunity to reach even closer here. Let's take a look at the drive from Yalda.
Look at this 5'3" sophomore driving it in, owning the court here. Great shot, off balance and everything, sliding right into our camera crew. Good effort there by Yalda.
Out of Des Plaines, twice this season she has dished out 10 or more assists. Season high 13 assists against Blackburn. Free throw is through for Yalda. Her season high scoring total is 8 points, which has been done on 3 different occasions this year. 6 points for Yalda today, and a 5-point Elmhurst lead at 45-40. Big defensive possession for North Park as the Viking fans try to get into the ball game and force the turnover. Yalda the steal, has a wide open Vernacil to the bucket. Merklin stepped in just enough to force an adjustment, but a rebound for Tinsky. And Tinsky will find herself at the line.
Well, with what was a 12-point lead for Elmhurst, has now turned into a 5-point lead. And here we go, North Park taking over. A great pass there by Yalda.
Free throw is good from Tinsky. Her season and career high total is 2 points. One more will equal that here. She's a freshman out of Palos Heights, Illinois, spinning through.
Well, now we definitely have ourselves an entertaining ball game to look forward to in this second half. A little over 12 and a half minutes to play, and Elmhurst only up by 3 now.
45-42. Joyner comes right, bounces for Harris. Back to Joyner, thought about the 3, drives instead to the stripe from 15. Nope. And on the rebound, Volden is knocked to the floor.
Boy, it looks like this Viking basketball team is looking for blood.
Krista Volden on the rebound. Here's Joyner's jumper. And there is contact with Volden. Elmhurst stretching out the press again. Got their hands on the pass. Kind of seems like North Park is good in spurts against this Blue Jay press. Bernasio to the bucket, clearing out onto the left edge.
Well, the press seems to be working, and after a while, after success comes from it, Vikings picking up on it a little bit and actually working against it. And now
Bernasio to beat the shot clock, and a foul on the rebound. Krista Volden's second foul. Third against North Park. 11:40 to play.
North Park doing a good job making adjustments on the press, as we've seen. And hopefully now the Blue Jays can get something rolling where their lead is more than just 3 points.
Merklin, who was hot in the first half, tries her first attempt in the left corner here to no avail, but Schwartman is knocked to the floor on the rebound. Let's take a look at Megan Merklin's miss on the shot here. And the follow-up on the rebound, a lot of contact as you see. Third foul against Becca Hemseth. Kim Schwartman inbounding for the Blue Jays, high to Joyner. Joyner was responsible early in the second half for thwarting the first North Park run. Tinsky steps in the lane and throws it off of C.J. Harris. Turnovers for Elmhurst were not a problem in the opening 20 minutes of play. Just 5 turnovers as the Blue Jays did a very good job of valuing the basketball. But Elmhurst has turned it over 3 times here in the first half of the second, and North Park looking to take advantage, throws it away themselves. Here's where the Blue Jays are at their best. In transition, Rhodes looked for contact, had it knocked away, and steered clear by Tinsky.
Well, a good 3-man pass there for Elmhurst, unfortunately not leading to much, but now the Vikings, boy, if they continue on this hot streak of offense, Coach Warner should definitely call a timeout. Wouldn't be surprised to see that coming up here. Reset, refocus, and get this team back on their feet.
Continues to hold at a 3-point Elmhurst lead. And a foul as Merklin is held up. Foul is whistled against Lindsey Thompson. That is her second, and the 5th against North Park. In the lane for Merklin. Spot-up jumper is through from 8 feet away. Design play for Megan Merklin.
Great out-of-bounds play there, designed specifically for number 32 on the Blue Jays team. A nice little soft touch there for 2 points for Merklin.
Thompson lobbing for Jones underneath, forced to adjust her shot. Adjusted too far onto the left edge. North Park wanted to travel and didn't get it. We have reached the midway point of the second half. 47-42, Elmhurst with the lead, and North Park is not doing themselves any favors, trying to work their way back into the contest, and in the process, starting to rack up the foul count. Elmhurst will be in the bonus, shooting free throws after the next foul. take a look at that design play for Merklin moments ago. Perfectly spotting up, just using her arms to reach over the top of the North Park defender. And we have a timeout for North Park with 9:57 to play in the ball game. Elmhurst 47, North Park 42. The Vikings have had problems today overcoming 18 turnovers. And that has really been the biggest difference in this contest because they've outshot Elmhurst 46% to 35% from the floor. One of the other biggest problems, Gina, a lot of times when you find yourself down so far, you need to spend a lot of that energy just to get back into the contest, and it's not that easy to overcome that hump and actually try to retake the lead in the ball game.
Well, they're looking for different ways to do that, and we're seeing that both in aggressive play out of this Vikings basketball team, both on the offense and defensive side of things, but we're seeing a sense of drive out of this team, and I know that this timeout was definitely designed to continue to poke away against this Blue Jay team who's only up now by 5 points.
47-42 is the score. If you're wondering, and I know you are, any of our broadcasts can be viewed again on demand through elmhursttv.com. Check out elmhursttv.com, and that'll have all of the programs, including Elmhurst, Our Kind of Town. 9:57 to go in the ball game. North Park is down by 5 on the board. Elmhurst head coach Teffany Warner has mixed up her lineups today. One with a different starting lineup, 3 fresh starters as a travel is whistled against Rhodes. And North Park will have an opportunity to try and chip away again. But first they need to break the press. Yalda looks right for Wisdom. Popping out is Tinsky, picking up her dribble. Finds the wide open Lindsay Thompson. How do you get that wide open?
Well, when you put 2 defenders on one player, somebody's bound to be open, and fortunately for the Vikings, somebody right down low. Easy 2 points there.
Merklin around the baseline, up and in. Megan Merklin came out strong, led Elmhurst with 10 first half points. However, that is her first basket here in the second half. A dozen for Merklin today. Yalda dishes to Thompson at the elbow. Her ability to dish the basketball has helped North Park here in the second half as well.
Well, as we can see, this one's going to come right down to the wire, I think, Tim. A little under 9 minutes to play here in the second half, but both of these teams, neither of them are going to let up.
49-46. Down to 10 as Rhodes drives. Nope. And against Elmhurst as Rhodes whistled for the foul. Let's get a look at the last make for the Blue Jays. Nice up and under move in the lane. (49-46) with 8.5 to play. And the Blue Jays continuing to press North Park. Dana Christensen with a chest-high dribble. Skips it to Thompson at the half-court stripe. Back to Yalda, who has the play call from Amanda Reese. Here's Christensen, wing right, triple for the tie. Rims out. Thompson a second chance, no. And North Park will get a third opportunity here.
Well, that is something that Elmhurst definitely has to try to stop. 3 opportunities now. This their third opportunity on offense for the Vikings. Cannot have any more of that.
Bouncing for Christensen. Interrupted by Vaughn, who got a piece. Here's Thompson at the left elbow. No. North Park had 4 chances and couldn't score on any of them. It remains a 3-point Elmhurst edge. Merklin towards the corner. Into the lane for Ney. Turnaround off the window and through.
Nice backboard shot there by Megan Ney, finally putting herself on the board. There are 2 points for Ney, who's had a great career here at Elmhurst and now kind of slowing things down, getting herself on the board there.
Second team all-conference choice last year with her first basket today. And now she's involved on the defensive end as well, fighting for the rebound. But a jump ball is called, and it'll be heading towards North Park. Let's get a look at Megan Ney's bucket.
Well, that's what you want to see, a player coming off the bench, and Megan Ney there, number 34 for the Blue Jays. Nice bankboard shot. And there you go. Megan Ney didn't get the start tonight. I think could be just an opportunity for her to kind of refocus and get back in touch with the great player that she is. And
Jones returns for North Park. Surrounded, finds Thompson who misses. And Lindsey Thompson, the 5'9" senior, heading to the line for North Park. Let's take a look at Jones. There's the help defense stepping in. Good recognition towards Thompson. And then the contact from behind as Kelsey Monroe is hit with foul numero uno. Lindsey Thompson, ranking 6th in the CCIW in field goal percentage. 7 double-figure games this year. A chance for double digits here. And yes, 51-48, Thompson with 10. Roxanne Jones leading all scorers with 20 for North Park. Creeping up to 7 minutes to go, Megan Ney underneath. Well, if she can get involved for the Blue Jays here in the second half, it could be a long night in the post for North Park.
Absolutely a great time for Megan Ney to show up with just a little over 6 minutes to play in this one. Megan Ney has got to step up for this team.
That's what's interesting about Elmhurst in this lead that they were able to reach out to today. A lot of it was from the perimeter game. Tinsky on the move as it's swatted away. Guess who? It's Megan Ney again, number 34 for Elmhurst. Let's get a look at her offensive side again. Under the watchful eye of Tethany Warner. Back to live action. Yalda leans in and hits the jumper to match her season and career high total with 8 points. It remains a 3-point lead at 53-50. Lobbing for Ney, too long, but Monroe recovers. Kelsey Monroe in the left corner. Lobbing for Merklin over the top of Thompson, counted and a foul.
Big players show up to big games, Tim, and this is definitely a big one. Megan Merklin, Megan Ney, hoping to continue to get this game a little bit higher than 5 points here. Merklin on the line now.
For the 3-point play and a 6-point lead, 56-50. Let's get a look at the hoop and the harm.
Here's Merklin, a nice spin move, and the 3-point play for Merklin.
6 minutes to play. And a timeout for North Park. 56-50 is the count with an even 6 minutes to play. Elmhurst leading North Park. They have led throughout this contest from early on in the first half. Blue Jays changing up the starting lineup today, and their bench was a big reason why Elmhurst raced out to a 10-point first half lead. And they've continued the help here as well. There's once again the bucket from Megan Merklin. 17 points for Merklin, who ranks 12th in the CCIW in scoring. Game reset. 2 timeouts left for North Park, 3 for Elmhurst. The Blue Jays own the possession arrow. And the scoreboard, 56-50. Each team is in the bonus, 7 fouls aside.
Well, this game, Tim, may come down to who can score the points on the free throw line. Both teams are going to get an opportunity to find themselves at the line after any fouls committed. So we'll see how this one plays out here with 6 minutes to go.
Elmhurst shooting 40% in the ball game. North Park at 43%. Both teams have converted on 11 free throws in the ball game. Elmhurst is 11 of 15. North Park 11 of 13. Antoinette Coleman inbounding the basketball for the Vikings. 20 to shoot for Yalda, who starts to work, crossing over. Coleman, high right. Vaughn with her arms in the air, picks up the dribble. Shot clock down to 10. Jones to the post, wants the basketball. 5 to shoot. North Park has to hurry. Coleman starts to move, leans in, forces up the 17-footer. Jones with a second chance, no. Jones with a third chance, may have been partially blocked by Megan Ney, and out of bounds, it stays with the Vikings. Doran Stewart, one of the officiating crew, right on top of the play, much to the chagrin of the Blue Jay faithful here at R.A. Faginal Hall today.
Well,
Coleman struggling to inbound.
We're again seeing another fourth opportunity possession here, Tim, for North Park. Blue Jays have got to be a little tighter on defense to stay in this one.
Thompson, free throw line extended. To the left edge for Tinsky. Back around to Thompson. It's down to 10 once more. Entry lob for Jones. No. Jones fighting for the rebound. And it's Maista who rips it away. Into the corner, Vaughn. One too many passes perhaps for Megan Ney. But she's able to save the possession for the Blue Jays, who lead by 6. Monroe, open corner, left for 3. Nope. Thompson with the rebound, surrounded by Blue Jays, and receives help from Yalda. Yalda with the afterburners. Shoveling for Tinsky, and a foul.
Well, as I mentioned, Tim, any foul is going to put the Vikings or the Blue Jays at the line here. We're seeing the Vikings, and after this one, nobody really getting back or hustling back on defense, as we're seeing in the replay here. And Tinsky taking it as in her own hands, taking the drive up and finding herself at the free throw line.
Tinsky's third point of the game is now a career high. The freshman came into the contest averaging under a point per ball game, had scored 2 points on 4 different occasions this year. And now 4 points for Tinsky, 56-52. Elmhurst leading by 4, down to 4:35. Maisto pops out. Lobs for Merklin, low right, off the glass and in.
Great drive there by Merklin. Great pass and a good assist. And that'll put him up by 6.
Roxanne Jones had to be careful defensively. She has 3 fouls. Looked like she was in a position there, but knew that if she was able to take one more step, it would have been her 4th foul of the game, which would not have helped North Park. A timeout for the Vikings with 4:12 to play, down 6, 58-52. Let's take a look at the last bucket for the Blue Jays.
And we're going to see a good pass here by Maisto, and an even better catch and release by Megan Merklin to put her team ahead by 6 points. And Coach Warner definitely pleased with that last possession, as you saw North Park calling the timeout. Coach Warner bringing in her girls. Hey girls, let's keep this thing up. Get even a little bit more ahead than 6 points.
Megan Merklin with 19 points to lead Elmhurst in the ball game. So she's having a solid showing for the Blue Jays today after having been very quiet, held under double digits in the last 2 ball games, both losses. Season high total for Merklin on this season. $19 points showing for the Blue Jays. Continue to lead by 4. Look at our crack sports information staff. Kevin Jude, busy as always, feeding us with some fun statistical anomalies. Feeding everyone with fun statistical anomalies. The Elmhurst College Athletic website provides live stats of every men's and women's basketball game, in addition to football and select soccer games as well. Baseball and softball, I'm not sure if they do live stats for that or not. Kevin would be the one you would ask, that fine young gentleman you saw moments ago. Devin Vaughn going all the way to the basket. No, but an offensive rebound for Ney, who cleans it up, and a foul. Elmhurst attempting to put away this pesky North Park squad.
Wow, huge Huge 2 points there by Megan Ney.
And it starts with the steal from Devin Vaughn.
Absolutely bringing it up the court. And Ney, big rebound, making herself known here in the second half is Megan Ney.
Free throw off the back iron, so it remains an 8-point Elmhurst lead at 60-52 with less than 4 minutes to go. Yalda drives and a reach. Devin Vaughn charged with her second. That is the 9th against the Blue Jays. Shayna Yalda is on her way to the line. 8 points, a season best total for her. Will not add to it as it rims to the left, and Ney with the rebound. Ney in the lane. Swings left. Tries the running 8-footer, no. Megan Merklin with a second opportunity. It's not there. Devin Vaughn controls, lost the basketball. And a foul underneath.
Well, no matter what, somebody on this Blue Jay team is going to find themselves at the line. A lot of rebounds there on that possession. Starting with Merklin and then to Devin Vaughn.
Take you right into the middle of the fray there. Almost what you're seeing is kind of similar to the first half, as Elmhurst was able to race out to a 14-point lead thanks to second opportunities. Vaughn with a free throw. And an opportunity to push it to a 10-point lead here. Matching her total from the loss at Wesleyan with 5 points. 62-52, the Blue Jays in front by 10 with 3:25 to go.
Well, you're right, Tim. Elmhurst definitely taking advantage of the second chance opportunities. Now finally back into the double digits. Margin here up by 10.
And an offensive foul. Illegal screen against Krista Volden, who had just entered for North Park, hit with her third. Let's see if we can spot it. Colliding with Devin Vaughn. Have to hold your ground. Just kind of rolled into it a little bit. C.J. Harris low left, no. And another foul on the rebound. Double bonus time for the Blue Jays. C.J. Harris with a big first half.
Yes, Tim, definitely. And you talked earlier in the broadcast in the first half of this game about confidence, and we're seeing that now more than ever with a little over 3 minutes to play. C.J. Harris taking one up, knowing that if she drives in, takes a chance, she'll either put it in or find herself at the free throw line. A couple free baskets here.
Harris, the second Elmhurst player in double digits today with 11 following the free throws. Megan Merklin, 19 to lead the Blue Jays. Top scorer for North Park isn't even on the floor. That's Roxanne Jones, 20 points for her today. Christensen pulls up, left of the lane, tries the 7-footer, nope. And in frustration, perhaps commits the foul as well. Time running out on North Park. And the frustration beginning to mount as well for the visitors, as Elmhurst will step to the free throw line with an opportunity to equal their largest lead of the game. They led by 14 points with 3:38 to play in the first half. Here's Megan Merklin with the first free throw. 20 points for her today. Megan Merklin waiting again, rimming out. Megan Ney fighting for the rebound, and Ney is tied up. Referee will right away call a jump ball underneath, but it stays with the Blue Jays.
Well, the two Megans teaming up here in the second half to become more of a threat that we know that they are. The two juniors for the Blue Jays have had great careers here so far and just continuing to show that tonight.
Megan Ney slapped by Heimseth. Immediately shrugs her shoulders in disbelief as Megan Ney is onto the free throw line, and the reason for that disbelief is Heimseth is done, her 5th foul. The sophomore out of Batavia, who dished out 4 assists in North Park's last loss to Wheaton. Back to the bench. And Megan Ney shooting free throws for Elmhurst. Get a good look at the junior. It's the first free throw. Ney ranked 9th in the CCIW in scoring last year. Career high 28 points in a win over North Central just about a year ago, January 26, 2010. 8 points today off of the Elmhurst bench. 67-52, a 15-point lead, the largest of the game for the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays definitely happy with this lead here with 2.5 minutes to play.
And North Park needing points in bunches, just kind of tossing up shots in hopes that they'll drop. Thompson will have an opportunity off of the rebound for some free throws, as C.J. Harris has whistled for her third foul. 2:33 to play. Elmhurst 67, North Park 53. Along with Gina Veneer, I'm Tim Calderwood. On Elmhurst, our kind of town. Gina will chat with the head coach of the Blue Jays, Tiffany Werner, following the conclusion today. Schwartman up the right edge of the floor for the Blue Jays. Working into the corner, picking up her dribble and starting to run some clock. It's a good position to be in, up by 13. Basic in and out for the Blue Jays, who swing it over to Megan Merklin. Wing left, three-pointer, nope, but an offensive rebound. And the Blue Jays can again start to use that clock as their friend. Tick, 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 as Lee Corso would say at NCAA football. Yes, I'm a PlayStation nut. Megan Ney, free throw line extended. Nope from 15, and another offensive rebound for the Blue Jays.
Well, 3 30-second possessions, opportunities to continue to tick down on that clock, Tim, as you mentioned. And Elmhurst, tick.
Tick, tick, tick. 1:40 to play, 15 to shoot. Vaughn targeting Merklin, short. Tinsky is falling to the floor. It'll be out of bounds to the Vikings.
Well, Harris, definitely a player, though committed that last foul, but definitely a player we can continue to talk about for this Blue Jays basketball team. She's really turned herself around as a player and showed Coach Warner that she belongs on the floor. Now she's got 4 fouls, but more importantly, 11 points in tonight's contest for Harris.
C.J. Harris, a 3-year letter winner for the Blue Jays. As the free throw for Teresa Tinsky is good, adding to her career best total. 67-55, 67-56 after the Tinsky free throws. And North Park will press. No big deal for the Blue Jays. Vaughn finesses it across and takes it to the bucket herself.
Wow, Vaughn, nice drive. No big deal for her either. Number 3 there for the Blue Jays, the freshman.
Dana Christensen, a behind-the-back move as it knocked away by the aforementioned Vaughn. As we come up on 1 minute remaining, it is a 13-point Elmhurst lead at 69-56. Schwartman targeting Merklin in the lane. It was looking for Ney, and Merklin will find her way to the free throw line once again. Megan Merklin, the CCIW's leader in free throw percentage. Makes it look automatic, 70-56. Just the 3rd time this season that Elmhurst has hit the 70-point plateau. Rimming right. Their season high total, if you're wondering, and I know you are, 72 in a 1-point win at California Lutheran. They also scored 70 in a loss to Franklin, Indiana. And I'm proved wrong as I look down. Their season high total is actually 87 at McMurray, so it's the 4th time this year that they've hit that 70-point plateau. That was on the road, that's why. Devin Vaughn with her 3rd foul. Dana Christensen, who started 18 of the 25 games she played as a freshman, hits the free throw. 9 points for Christensen, above her season average. Looking for her 5th double-digit game of the year. Off the back iron, no siree. C.J. Harris cleans up the rebound. Elmhurst leading by 13 with 13-second difference between the shot and game clock. Harris high right, over to Schwartman on the left edge. Lobbing for Ney. has it blocked. And Christensen will gobble it up and lead the break. Ahead to a wide open Gemma Thompson, who blew the layup. And Elmhurst will just run out the final 8 seconds of the clock. Shortman with a left-hand dribble as the Blue Jay bench rises to their feet. And a 2-game CCIW losing streak is history.
Well, now the Blue Jays 2-3 in this tough CCIW conference. Big win tonight here at home for the Blue Jays.
Final score, Elmhurst 70, North Park 57. The Blue Jays are 7-9. It is the same identical record for North Park, but more importantly, the Blue Jays jumping ahead of the Vikings in the CCIW standings. Don't go anywhere. We'll wrap it up in moments, and we'll also hear from Elmhurst College head coach Tethny Werner as the Blue Jays are victorious 70-57 at home tonight over North Park. This is Elmhurst, our kind of town. A 13-point victory for Elmhurst, 70-57, as the Blue Jays snap a 2-game losing streak in the CCIW. Gina Veneer is joined by the head coach of the Blue Jays, Tethny Werner, courtside to chat with the boss of the Blue Jays about the victory, which Tethny Werner said before the ball game was near a must-win.
Gina Veneer here courtside with head women's basketball coach of the Elmhurst College Blue Jays, Tethny Werner. And Coach Werner was hoping that this interview would be positive for our post-game tonight, and it definitely is. Big win over North Park tonight, Coach.
It was. You know, we had just dropped 2 games in a row, and it was really important for us to get this conference win. If we're trying to keep our, us battling for that conference tournament, which is our ultimate goal, we knew that we had to take advantage of this opportunity and get a win here.
Well, we saw a lot of success coming from the full court press and as well as the rebounds tonight. Big on rebounds. Talk about that approach and how you planned on having that sort of action before the game.
Well, you know, we have spurts in the last few games where we've been in a pressing lineup and they've done a really good job, and that was what we've been focusing on the last couple of days of practice. Is I need everyone that comes into the ball game that can press, and that's what they did. They did a good job, and they were able to pull down the boards. We've been stressing boxing out over and over because that's been a weakness of us, of just not pulling down the boards, and they did it tonight.
Well, talk about Megan Merklin tonight, showing up big time for you guys. 20 points, a player that you've got to be pleased with tonight.
I am extremely pleased, especially for her, just because she's had some rocky games the last few games, and she's so capable. She's a person that's really hard to defend. She can come out and shoot the 3. She can take you inside and post up, and she really just shined tonight.
Absolutely. This Blue Jay basketball team shined. Big win over North Park, 70-57. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Gina.
70-57, Elmhurst over North Park with the victory, upping their record to 7-9 in the CCIW. They are 2-3 in the CCIW, 7-9 overall, as the Blue Jays post the victory here on Elmhurst, our kind of town. A couple of numbers for you from the final stats in front of us here. Megan Merklin with 21 points, C.J. Harris with 11, the only 2 players in double digits for the Blue Jays. But the big contests highlighted with this yellow highlighter. Second chance points, 21-4 in favor of Elmhurst. Points off of turnovers, 24-8 in favor of Elmhurst. And also bench points for the Blue Jays, 26 today as well. Elmhurst records the victory as the Blue Jays are now 2-3 in the CCIW following the 13-point win over North Park today. That will wrap up our coverage here on Elmhurst, our kind of town. Big thanks to my partner, Gina Veneer, and for our entire crew, Director Glenn Liljeberg, and our producer, Jeannie Urich. From our Faginal Hall in Elmhurst, I'm Tim Calderwood. Thanks for watching.